to do with education is very, very serious. So a recent report by the Human Rights Watch has highlighted a reality around African governments and the fact that they have consistently fallen short of meeting global and regional education funding targets. This means that it is leaving millions of children without access to quality learning. And when we look at the statistics, they tell us that 60% of Africa's population is under the age of 25. So this shortfall is not a joke. It doesn't only threaten individual futures, but it also really puts the continent's potential to harness emerging technologies at a severe disadvantage. Across Africa, new technologies like artificial intelligence are being created to come through with opportunity to transform the space of learning. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about what this report is teaching us, what the possibilities are that remain for us to shape government, to shape policy, to of course, then align that with community alongside the private sector. On the line with us, Mic Mann, who is CEO of Singularity South Africa. Mick, wonderful to have you join us this afternoon. I think the work of Singularity South Africa as an organization is very important because you're leveraging on technology, such as artificial intelligence, robotics, etc. Tell us more.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I think, it's so important for us to embrace these technologies and these skills of the future if we want to lead in the future, because, Ray Kurzweil, one of the founders of Singularity, has been predicting a lot of these advancements since 1998, and he's, got them accurate to the year. So it's so important for us to bring this knowledge, to empower people, to inspire them with the right mindset and skill set so that we can take action.
We are currently in conversation with Mic Mann, and we're talking about bridging the digital divide in African schools to ensure every child can thrive in an AI-driven future. It's 19 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. If you have any questions for Mick, send them through on our WhatsApp line. It's +27 63 406 9126. We'll continue the conversation right after this.
Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. Musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you'll be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Mmatsheko Mosito and Tebogo Lekhuleni on the upside.
Well, let's unpack the report by Human Rights Watch, which has revealed that most African governments are failing to meet global and regional education funding targets, leaving millions of children without access to quality learning. And we continue with this conversation with Mic Mann, co-CEO of Singularity South Africa. Mick, let's talk about this underfunding issue, because it's such a critical risk and poses such a critical risk in a continent where the majority of the population is under 25. Why is it still the case that underfunding is still a major problem?
So I think it's, if we look at what's going on around the world, there's this great AI race that's happening between, some of the biggest nations in the world. And it's mainly between America and China that are leading the AI investment at the moment. And then, there are parts of Europe that are doing it, a lot of, the UAE and all of that starting to get on board. But as Africa, we've really been under investing in this opportunity, and it's so important to invest in teacher training and digital infrastructure, tooling, and we need, to create these AI-powered learning tools so that we could thrive in the future and not be left behind, in this AI race that is so prevalent and so urgent in front of our eyes at the moment.
Mick, let's elaborate on that. Let's stay on that note for a second and look at artificial intelligence and how we can actually leverage on it effectively, especially in the African classroom, so that we can improve learning outcomes. I think particularly when we look at under-resourced or disadvantaged areas.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at, there was a great competition that's called the X Prize, which is part of Singularity, where they offer huge cash incentives for solving big problems in the world. And the Global Learning X Prize was around, can you teach a student basic maths and English without a teacher on a tablet using AI? And that ran for about 5 years, and we had 2 winners come out of that just a year and a half ago, where they created this AI solution that could help students learn. And now what we're seeing in a lot of schools in America, they actually are doing AI learning for the first 2 hours of the classroom of the school curriculum. Then the rest of the day is spent learning in groups and how to have collaboration between other humans and learn about group learning. So, these AIs can act as your personal tutors. They can adapt lessons. They've got diagnostic tools to see where you're weak and maybe give you more training on your weaker areas so that you can improve there. And it really just enhances and advances the learning in ways we've never seen before.
And Mick, it sounds amazing. I mean, it sounds like a dream to get to that point and to get to that particular place. That's a different conversation. When we look at the digital divide, which remains quite a huge barrier in South Africa and in Africa, what are some of the most urgent, according to you, and perhaps what you have been exposed to, what are some of the most urgent steps that need to be taken to ensure that rural and under-resourced schools don't get left behind because they don't have the infrastructure to handle things like AI and these digital advancements?
So that, I think, it's definitely a dream, but it's a real dream. It's actually happening. And because of this acceleration of these exponential technologies, what we teach at Singularity, what we're going to be teaching at our big Singularity Summit coming up on the 22nd and 23rd of October, in person and in the metaverse, which is, the 3D immersive worlds that we need to teach our youth about. How do we become digitally fluent in those environments, in those experiences? Is that how do we, as these technologies are advancing, it's becoming cheaper to use AI, and it's requiring less power and less compute. So one of the main areas we need to focus on for investment is around connectivity. We need affordable devices. We need renewable energy to power these rural schools so that they can actually have access to this incredible new tool like a hammer that we've got at our disposal. Because once you start using it, I'm sure you guys are using AI every day.
Of course.
For different tasks and for different, parts of your life, and the students, when they get access to these tools, create magical things that feel dreamlike, but they're real.
It is real, and it is here, Mick. It is here. So you speak about, the upcoming summit and the work that's already being done with Singularity. Talk to us about the biggest challenges that Singularity South Africa is facing in terms of being able to scale innovation when it comes to educational technologies across the African context, if you will.
Yeah, so for us, we try make sure that we bring the best minds from around the world. So there's a global perspective. We've got people coming from America, from Dubai, from China, from Europe, really across quite a cross section of the globe, from Australia, talking about how we're going to get ready for a post-AGI world when we reach artificial general intelligence. How are we preparing for that? Because that's when everything changes, for us. And all of our lives are going to evolve into the, new types of work and new types of thinking that we can't even imagine now. Ray Kurzweil from Singularity says we're going to see more change in the next 5 to 10 years than we've seen in the last 100 years. So it's pretty, crazy what's coming at us.
Yeah.
And for us, we get a lot of student bursaries. We've got over 28 institutions that have applied for bursaries to attend in the metaverse for our summit, that we are gifting those bursaries to students that write. We've had hundreds of applications that are really beautifully written and with great motivations, and that just shows the commitment and the hunger for this type of learning. So for us, it's like, how do we educate, empower, and inspire these people so that they can use these tools that are available for everyone, just with connectivity and a device? And that's one of the ways we are trying to mitigate, because we get a lot of leaders coming to learn at the summit, top CEOs and executives and boards and excos, and they very important for them to understand these tools, because they are making decisions that affect so many of us in all of their different daily routines and all of their different daily decisions. If an executive has to make a call on embracing artificial intelligence or robotics, humanoid robots that are going to help in so many different ways, if they have to make a decision for that, if they're educated and they understand it better, they can help make a better decision that will have an impact for all of their customers, all of their employees, and all of their kids at those organizations. So it's about educating leaders, and for us to scale now in metaverse, which are these 3D environments with gamification and social tools and hyper-realistic avatars now, so you actually look like yourself. And the students go in and they're native in these worlds, that through things like Roblox and Minecraft, they can actually navigate in these spaces. And this is where the new work is going to be. Are you creating clothing, or are you creating environments, or are you creating games, or entertaining people in these 3D immersive experiences?
Endless possibilities. Mick, if you'd like to be a part of the summit, where can we find information and get tickets?
So you can go to susasummit.org, SUSA summit.org on the website, and you can get an in-person or metaverse ticket. If you're a student and you want to apply for a bursary, there's a bursary application also on the website. And then you can obviously follow us on all the social channels. We post a lot of information around these technologies. I've actually cloned myself, guys. So I've cloned myself. And I've delivered over 300 AI news stories this year.
Wow.
Where I haven't actually done anything. I haven't been into studio or anything. So it's phenomenal what's possible with this technology, and the creativity is just next level. And we have to, the more we embrace it, the more we use it, and the more we put out our own creations, the better we're going to be, and the more we're going to future-proof ourselves and our next generation.
All right. Mick, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Does the clone also get paid, or it's just you?
He works on electricity.
Mick, thank you so much for your time. The voice of Mic Mann, co-CEO of Singularity South Africa. Go check out their website and be part of the summit that's coming up in October. It's 30 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. Fix what's happening in the world of sports.